Things just took a sickening turn for the Boston Red Sox as Lucas Giolito will not be on the American League wildcard series in what is a major blow to the Red Sox rotation. What will they do if a Game 3 is necessary? We talk about it all today here on Red Sox Digest. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Jace Andrews. Wish I had some better news for you, but unfortunately, I do not. Lucas Giolito has an elbow injury. We'll give you the full diagnostics here on the show. Before that, though, this is exactly why you hit that subscribe button. When breaking news happens, when stuff like this comes out, we got a video here right on YouTube right away. And yet 75% of you nearly are not yet subscribed. So if you are here and a part of that 74.7% that are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Go down there, hit that subscribe button. It's 100% free. We're going to be having some game streams, some live streams, some shorts, a bunch of different stuff coming up for Red October as the Boston Red Sox make their first playoff appearance since 2021. And unfortunately, that playoff appearance will be without Lucas Giolito. Christopher Smith had the report first, is coming directly from Alex Cora, in which he said that Lucas Giolito has an elbow issue and won't be on the Red Sox wildcard roster. That's huge. There's no other way to put it other than this is a ginormous blow to the Red Sox roster, especially when you consider that they had Crochet, Bello, and Giolito all lined up, and now that Game 3, if it happens, it's a question mark standing there right now. I don't know if there's words that I can put into how big Lucas Giolito has been to this club throughout the entirety of the season, but I know that it is a big thing to not have him for a couple of different reasons. And the first one I want to talk about is that he is a very good pitcher. He is. He's still pretty young, to be honest, at just 31 years old, an ERA of 3.41 in the entirety of the season. And whether or not you got to Game 3, whatever, but let's say, God forbid you lose Game 1 with Garrett Crochet on the mound, you have Brayan Bello, and you would use Lucas Giolito in a emergency situation in Game number 2 as well. Now, it's not that way. You have Garrett Crochet, you feel like you trust him, and then after that, it's Brayan Bello. You hope that he can go out there and do well after a rough September. And then Game 3, the question marks start to arise. Now, before we get too far into what we expect in Game 3 and all of that, I do have this to put out there for you. This is from Craig Breslow, said that they are still, quote-unquote, information gathering phase with Lucas Giolito, so they haven't ruled him out for future rounds, say, ALDS, Championship Series, even to the World Series. So it is an elbow issue. He did miss some time with some Tommy John, so there is a bunch of concerns rolling around with that, and the question marks continue to arise on whether or not he will be available for future rounds. He's visiting an orthopedic surgeon today. We'll find out more after we have the news on that. Okay, so with that being said, we kind of have to look more in depth now into, okay, who's going to be that Game number 3 starter should they get there. So here is a full picture of everybody that is, quote-unquote, part of the Red Sox rotation at some point this year. You expect Garrett Crochet, Brayan Bello to be Game 1, Game 2, which we have some quotes from Alex Cora that we'll go to here in a minute. And then Lucas Giolito was supposed to be your Game 3. Dustin May is supposedly about to be ready. Tanner Houck's done. Payton Tolle and Connelly Early have both made starts in this season. Hunter Dobbins, Connor Crawford, Patrick Sandoval, they're all out. And then you have the Rafael Devers trade acquisition, Kyle Harrison, that has made 2 pretty decent starts since he finally made it up to the big leagues after he was acquired back in the late June and ended up not getting up here until August, September area. So that's something to watch. So as I'm going to talk about options, as I'm going to talk about what Alex Cora said, I want to get your opinion first on what you would do in this situation. So Game 3 coming up. Let's say the Red Sox win 1, lose 1 in Games 1 and 2. You pitch Crochet, you pitch Bello. Who in your mind is going to be that Game 3 starter if necessary? I want you to go down in the comment section and let me know who you think you would put out there. If it's going to be a Kyle Harrison, a Connelly Early, a Payton Tolle, is it somebody that may be in the bullpen game? Let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are on who would start Game number 3. I'll give you my opinion later on, but I do want to go to some quotes from Alex Cora talking about this situation and basically the latest on Giolito. So here is Cora and what he said today. Quote, Lucas, he's not going to be on the roster. He has been battling with his elbow the last few days, and today he went to see Dr. Dugas. Hopefully it's nothing major, but he's not going to be ready for this one. really tough blow. And that was where the questions kind of continue to arise. Like, okay, what's the plan? Like, well, what's going to happen? And that's what Alex Cora answered next, saying, quote, "We will go with the first 2 games, and then we will decide. Obviously, we got some kids over there that have started lately, but first things first, Crochet, Bello, and if we have to make a decision for Game 3, we will go from there," end quote. So I'd have to bet there's one of 2 ways this goes. The first way this goes is the Red Sox win Game 1 with Garrett Crochet on the mound. You feel very confident that that can be a true possibility. And then Game 2, you pitch normally. You have Brayan Bello go. There's no crazy things you have to do. And, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. You have Game 3. Obviously, you'd like to win Game 2, but it's not a win-or-go-home situation. The other situation, you lose Game 1 with Garrett Crochet. You have to win Game 2. Brayan Bello doesn't have it. And then you're throwing Payton Tolle. You're throwing Connelly Early. You're throwing everybody you've got trying to save your season. And then Game 3 becomes a lot harder of a situation. It's going to be an interesting one for sure. I do quickly want to talk about Crochet. And honestly, had a good point talking about Giolito and how he still will be of value to the Boston Red Sox in this series. He said, quote, "We'll be missing him. He will be in the dugout with us. He is a great teammate and a guy that has a lot of experience, so I think his mind will lend us a helping hand," end quote. That's great, but he also needs to lend us an arm too, because we got to figure out who exactly is going to be starting here. So with all that being said, we're going to go through some options and kind of talk about who could be on the docket. So first option is going to be Kyle Harrison. Now, Harrison has not had too many starts with the Red Sox, and this is, again, his entire season, so this includes his Giants starts, but overall in his major league season this year, he has a 4.04 earned run average, striking out 38, allowing 35 hits, 4 homers allowed, and a 35 and a 2/3 innings pitched in the major league. So he's an option. Walks were an issue for him in last outing. Was able to work around some stuff though, and we sit here and say, okay, what's after that? Well, if Kyle Harrison is not the choice, you also have Connelly Early, who we talked about. Had a 2.33 ERA in his first 3 major league starts. Does have a 1-2 record, unfortunately. So, unfortunately, they have a 19 1/3 innings, 29 strikeouts, and a 1.09 WHIP. Yeah, I'm taking this guy. I think is my choice here. Connelly Early is really the guy that I'm looking to, saying if he's going to be the one to pitch, I'm fully confident in that. So I would say that that's my answer, is Connelly Early over Kyle Harrison, but the oddball answer, or the option that is also out there, is Payton Tolle. And for Payton Tolle, he's an intriguing one to me, because his first start was electric, and Fenway Park looked fantastic, and I thought, okay, we have got our guy. And then since then, it's been a little rough. He's got a 1.59 WHIP, 19 strikeouts in 16 1/3, 7 games, 3 of those being starts, and an ERA, north of 5. So it's not exactly looking great for his purposes. But I truly do wonder for his purpose. I think he's better off in the bullpen. Obviously, just 22 years old, out of Texas Christian University. You think that he is going to be used in this series for sure. I just would highly, highly doubt it to be in a starting scenario in Game 3, unless you do that second situation where you lose Game 1 with Garrett Crochet. You have Brayan Bello on the bump in Game 2. It doesn't go that way, and you pitch Connelly Early. You pitch Kyle Harrison. You're able to get to Game 3, and you have Payton Tolle left, which he's done better in starts than in relief appearances, so maybe it works out, but this series just got a lot more complicated logistically, simply put, just because of your pitching rotation. And we talked about this at the trade deadline. We talked about this throughout the season. The pitching acquisition that we got in Dustin May was not going to be enough. And you feel a lot more confident right now if your acquisition was Joe Ryan. And, there's a couple of different reports out there that's saying that they could have gone and got out and got Merrill Kelly, but the hinging point there was Connelly Early. I think they made the right decision, but supposedly on Joe Ryan, John Hingston Garcia was offered. There was a couple other guys offered, and the Minnesota Twins didn't take it. If you could have had Joe Ryan, whether, I don't know how close they actually were, we never really will, man, you're feeling a lot better to have Crochet, Bello, Joe Ryan than Crochet, Bello, and question mark right now. And honestly, it'd probably be Crochet, Brayan Bello, but at the same time, no ifs, ands, or buts about it now. It's the playoffs. You got to go out there. You got to compete. It's next man up mentality, and you got to go out there. And I will say the one last thing that I'll tell you on this video is they were going to New York last night after their victory over the Detroit Tigers, and Alex Cora messaged in the chat, said, hey, we're going to go casual. We're not trying to, I want you to be comfortable. I want you to be cool, calm, and collective on the plane. And Garrett Crochet basically said, F that. I'm going to say we're going business casual because this is a business trip. So the entirety of the team pulled up in suits, got on the plane, and this is a business trip for them. And if they can go out there, they can get 2 wins, they can head into the divisional series against the Toronto Blue Jays. We'll say business is done. So let's hope that happens, and we'll see tomorrow night with Game 1. We'll have a live stream for it. But for now, we appreciate you. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Who do you think should start Game 3? We'll see you next time here on Red Sox Digest. Peace out, guys.